Good looking, bad tasting, full bodied, butt wasting. She don't take sugar on her colour TV. Donde está el hombre? It's time to respect the solo career of Geraldine Estelle Halliwell.
You're listening to
Pod of the Pops,
the podcast for reliving and reloving pop culture. Series 1, The Spice Girls, solo careers.
Welcome back to Pod of the Pops. I'm comedian Erin Twitchin. As ever, I am the English rose between two Scottish thorns.
I'm Karen.
I'm Lauren.
It's 1998. And Traitor Spice is proving that friendship never ends.
Wow.
I'm opening strong.
You went there.
Yeah.
At this point, there are a lot of sore feelings. It's 1998, she's just left.
Yeah.
I think we were all a bit
Yeah.
gobsmacked.
Sure.
Yes. But obviously, as they've been able to reveal in hindsight, they were not maybe as shocked as they could have been. It wasn't the first time she had done something like this.
But I don't think they believed that she was actually going. I think there's been a lot of false rumours and they've said a lot of things before this.
Yeah, I mean, Mel C has said, all the time, Mel B and Geri were always threatening to leave when they were in a mood or a straw. When they first realised that was what was happening, they phoned her up and was like, "What are you doing, you silly cow?" That's a direct quote.
Yeah.
And they were just like, "Come back, what are you doing?" But yeah, this time was different.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot going on with Geri through this whole period. Definitely these first few years. She's definitely trying to re-find herself. But you can think about leaving, but she's the only one that did.
Yeah.
Ever.
It's true.
No one else even left.
No.
It's not like one of them abandoned the four.
Yeah.
It's like, Mel C probably thought about it, but she was like, I'm going to see this album through because friendship never ends.
Yeah.
Well, it's all good now, but still bitter.
Yeah.
We kick off the year in a really unusual way. So it's 1998. Geri receives a handwritten note from none other than Prince Charles.
And that was because she pinched his bum.
They have history. Yeah. They have a lot of history.
Yeah.
So obviously there was the bum pinching. I think they
kissed him on the cheek and lipstick and all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. The media loved putting the Spice Girls and the two young princes because Prince William and Prince Harry were sort of late teenagers at the time, early teenagers.
So it was this kind of awkwardness about that. Yeah.
I'm sure there was lots of stories of Emma Bunton's going to marry Prince William. And
there was.
No, Prince Harry.
It was Harry.
But he was a bit young then, but later on it was rumours for Harry, which would have been just an awesome match.
Can you imagine? Emma Bunton is...
She'd be like Princess Emma.
But we're very happy with Meghan Markle, so...
Very happy.
Yeah. If we couldn't have Emma, we're very happy to have Meghan.
Exactly.
So the note from Prince Charles, it said, "The group will not be the same without you. What will I do without your wonderfully friendly greeting?"
Oh, Charlie.
Amongst other things, I think. But I think this just goes to say, we can say whatever we like about Geri, but she had got to a level where the future King of England was sending her notes after her job problems.
Yeah, I mean, it's
the
incredible.
King of the UK, by the way. I don't know if you realise.
What did I say?
England. There is 4 countries. Half the debate of being Scottish.
I mean, you all came here for the geography lessons, so...
You guys like to forget about the other.
Well, you say you guys, like, I'm not here up in Scotland enjoying your wonderful country.
And he's also the Prince of Wales.
So there you go.
He is.
I mean, I think it goes to show, it was very much a conscious decision on her part to be this way. I mean, in an interview she has said, when you're around men with power, they actually quite like a young, in-their-face, flirty, fun young woman. And so she knew this, and she kind of used all the power.
She used her best assets.
Yeah, she used her best asset. I mean, look at the, when, they're meeting Nelson Mandela. Yeah,
and he says it's the greatest day of his life.
I mean, it may well have been. Never
mind
out of
being
jail.
released from prison.
No.
Nelson Mandela was pretty sure.
She is really clinging to his arm, man.
Yeah.
But he's loving it.
There's this, like, competitive element there between Mel B and Geri, I think, in that.
In that aspect.
Sometimes it felt like they're pulling at the men of power, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. I guess what I'm trying to say is that maybe at the time I judged her for that. But now I'm like, she knew what she was doing.
Oh no, I'd say People talk about Geri being smart, and I think her smarts are definitely in people.
Yes.
She understands people and how to give people what they want, or how to
what
present,
they really want.
What they really, really want. And how to present themselves, how to present to them.
Yes.
The version of her that's best.
Yes,
For
yeah.
that.
Yeah, she's a very emotionally driven person.
Well, it paid off. So a couple of months later, she gives him a very friendly greeting by singing at a royal gala to celebrate his 50th birthday.
Ooh,
So this is her first big public appearance.
Mm.
She goes out on stage in this big... She looks beautiful, actually. It's this blue, like, big puff skirt ball gown.
Mm-hmm.
And she does a very Marilyn Monroe version of
Yeah.
Happy Birthday to you. That was my impression. Thank you. Available for parties.
Yeah.
And she even blows him a little kiss at the end.
Right.
It's all...
I love that you paused there.
Blows him a little kiss. She it's so odd to watch it back, actually, because it's all a bit contrived and awkward. But
Yes.
what a big way to come back. Like,
Yeah.
what a big high-profile event. And the papers the next day was that picture of Geri in the dress.
Yeah.
That was the story.
Yes.
She knew, at this point, she really knew how to control the media, in a way, like how to get her face out there.
And most of the time, she was their focus. Like, I would say, compared to the rest of them.
She knew exactly what she was doing.
I think less so towards the end of the band. Like, Victoria was very much becoming
that's true.
Victoria Beckham at that point.
Yeah.
I wonder how much tension that threw at them, actually.
Mm.
Because Geri had, was sort of the self-appointed leader, really.
Yes.
So she took that role on herself.
Yeah. But I mean, like, it is true. See, when they recount back all of what was happening, she was such a driving force at the kind of inception of the band.
Yeah.
Like, when they're leaving and doing their midnight flip from their first managers, it's her little battered up car. She drives them to Sheffield. She's the one she's, found all the songwriters in the
Her
songwriters.
and Mel B. That's
her and Mel B. Yeah.
I think one of the things with history is written by the winners. She got out first.
True
She released her autobiography first.
Yeah.
And she is very much, I did this, I did that. Whereas the other girls will always say we.
Yeah.
We didn't want to sing about what everybody else sings about. There were so many songs out there and they've all got the same message. We wanted to say something different.
I had this feeling that it was going to really work and it was going to be massive. And I realised that positivity was contagious. So I was always like, yeah. And then we all started to believe it. The other girls did too. And, and we just kept that. And I remember driving along.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. Maybe a part of...
Slightly disappointing.
Yeah.
She's not always the strongest feminist. I think she tries really hard.
She does.
And she has always the best intentions.
There's
but
definitely a power
sometimes she
struggle
missteps,
between herself and the group.
Yeah.
Well, that same year, she became a United Nations Goodwill Ambassador.
Who on earth saw that happening?
It's the next natural step when you leave a pop group, isn't it? Mucha Bueno will be doing it next. I'm sure it's her turn. It is. I do remember at the time it feeling incredibly odd, but also kind of not the weirdest fit. I'm not 100% sure what her role was. It seems that she was responsible for promoting a few of their newer services, like the abortion clinics and promoting reproductive problems in Britain, and just being attracting a bit of attention and being a spokesperson for publicity purposes.
Yeah. Fair play to her.
Yeah.
Like, that is ballsy.
It's quite a fitting role for someone who wants skill power and empowerment for women.
And she was always very outspoken about issues and stuff like that.
Yes,
they always have been through the band.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like she was someone who suddenly had gone from being Paris Hilton, who had this personality of being an airhead and not knowing about much, to suddenly being like, oh, actually.
Just an aside, I don't actually think Paris Hilton is
she's
an
absolutely
airhead.
not. Character, isn't it?
Yeah, it's her persona, isn't it? And to a certain extent, I'd say that Geri is similar in that way. They're kind of, the media like to be like, oh, she's, up for anything. She's very like this just sexy, curvy woman. But, she's not. She is not stupid.
Are you asking, who is Geri Halliwell?
I am.
Because there is a dissertation called Look at Me. Virgin. For us. Yeah. Well, she was a Goodwill Ambassador for a while. She invented Angelina Jolie, basically. Just filling her shoes. All this is also documented in the film Geri by Molly Dineen. Have you seen it recently?
Not recently.
No.
It's a good pop documentary because it's from the minute. So it opens with, today is Thursday 27th of May and yesterday I left the Spice Girls.
Is that part of the home video that she filmed?
Yeah, so some of it is home videos with her brother, yeah, where this is where you know Geri's smart, because whereas the rest of us might have just run away from a girl band and just turned our backs on a career and be terrified.
And put your head under the covers.
And just cry.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm going to want to document this.
Right.
This will be important.
Yeah.
And it is so raw. So, like you said, she starts off filming it. It's her brother filming it.
It's in the hotel in Paris, isn't it?
Yeah, she runs away to France. And then this filmmaker, Molly, comes out to film some of it. I'm not sure how much Geri expected this Molly to have as much girl power as she had.
Yes.
I think Geri was thinking, I'll be able to control this documentary a bit.
Right.
But this Molly girl, she's good. She gets so much out of her. You see Geri at really low points. You see her you really see the struggle that she's going through of trying to figure out who is Geri Halliwell.
You wonder when that was all orchestrated as well, to get Molly involved in the documentary.
Quite quickly, I think. They were so used to doing things really quickly. I mean, they fired their managers, didn't they, only a year before, and then were able to get everything going.
Had to organise things and
stuff. I mean, I think what's astounding, what has emerged from the research for me, is that she's such a huge driving force. In the initial days of the Spice Girls, it's all encompassing for her. She believes everything with her heart and soul, and then for her to have that journey where suddenly, she's leaving because, as she's been quoted as saying, she just felt like they could be fine without her, they didn't need her anymore, when we've said elsewhere about the fact her last appearance when she's singing Viva Forever at Top of the Pops, she is not herself.
This film is very much a woman who's not sure who she is at the minute, and that's really clear, but she tries really hard. I think Geri Halliwell could have been a politician if she'd not been a pop star. She knows how to say a speech. She's watched a lot of Tony Blair videos, because all her speeches, when she's talking to this woman, they seem off the cuff. Yes. But she knows how to use repetition. Yes. She knows how to use the power of words. Yeah. She says things like, I should dare to bear, I should dare to talk, why shouldn't I? And it's very, impassioned and clever literacy.
Yeah.
You can believe why you could believe she was the lead songwriter.
Yes, yeah.
I think it's also really important to talk about the death of Geri's father, although that was, a few years, I'm not sure she actually dealt with it. I think she was only about 21 when her father passed.
Yeah.
But that had a big influence on Geri's life, which we find in the first autobiography.
Yeah, well, she says that she created Ginger Spice as a coping mechanism.
Which is quite sad in a way, because you think with girl power you're able to talk about your feelings and evolve from them, but if you've actually just buried that deep inside you...
Yeah, that's true.
It's going to come to the surface, and I think it has.
Yeah.
She is a contradiction.
Yeah.
A lot of the things that she says and that she aims for,
yes,
she sometimes undoes herself and does the opposite. Yeah. Like in the movie, she spends a lot of time talking about how she hasn't got any friends. Like, she starts talking to this Molly, the filmmaker, as a friend. She thinks of her like that. Right. And it's kind of sad to hear from someone who was so much about the importance of friendship early on. Yes. To find that they're so isolated.
Yeah.
Also, you wonder what the contact was with the other girls during that time, if they were messaging her or if they were just a wall of silence. It's a difficult situation.
I think, right, now dare I say this, I think she was in the depression or wherever she was going through, the turmoil that she was going through, it meant that she was quite, inward looking. And that's a nice way of saying selfish. It's not until the 2012 documentary, the Viva Forever one, that she's actually like, oh, in hindsight, I realise they probably were really angry at me and hurt.
Yeah.
And so I understand why they acted that way. It taken her all of that time to kind of process it and be like, actually, I wasn't necessarily hard done by it. Of course they were hurt, At least that's, from what I've seen, that's my interpretation.
I could definitely see that. I was going to say something else. The other girls were still talking that they were on good terms with Geri. There was this sort of hiding behind the obvious truth. So, in interviews, they were saying Geri was still going to Victoria's wedding. Mm-hmm. Things like that. I mean, she didn't.
Yeah.
They were still putting on a good face of it. So how much of it was media training and how much of it was they genuinely wanted the best for each other.
And they had to keep that persona up because friendship never ends.
The hardest part of the Spice Girls story is, what you do with that.
Yeah.
We're all about friendship and supporting each other. Yeah, drove ourselves apart a little bit unintentionally.
Yeah.
Hi, listener. Subscribe if you want to go faster.
You all are bonus content. Leave your comments and join the conversation on our Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.
Talk to us at Pod of the Pops on all platforms.
Go get yourself subscribed, girls. I know you want to.
Runners getting low, according to all sources. The street's the place to go, 'cause tonight for the first time, just about 10:30, for the first time in history, it's gonna start raining men.
When it came to recording her solo record, she approached the producing duo Absolute, who had worked on a lot of the Spice Girls records. And there was an ultimatum. So the Spice Girls had originally planned to work with them on the Forever album.
Right.
They said to Absolute, either you work with us or you work with Geri.
Wow.
Pinning women against each other.
And they chose Geri.
Okay.
Which, I mean, says a lot about Geri, I suppose. I also wonder how much about choosing that production duo was down to the quality of the work or the direction that she wanted to go in, and how much of it was, given what we just said about friendship, how much of it is I want to be around people that I know.
Yes.
I'm going to be doing this on my own, which I've not done before. I need to be in a comfortable situation.
Yeah.
We would have to wait a full year for the solo single, but she came big with, who is Geri Halliwell? Look at me.
Fantastic video. Really enjoyed it. It was fun. I thought it was fun.
It is a lot of fun. So the premise is, who is Geri Halliwell?
Yeah.
There are 4 different Geris. The sister, the vamp, the virgin, and the bitch.
I mean, that's a metaphor for womanhood everywhere, isn't it?
It is. It's, again, very earnest. For something that's such a frivolous bop, it opens with just the phrase, image is just your imagination. Reality is rarely revealed. It sounds really deep. Well, it sounds really deep. I don't know what it actually means. It sounds like a lot of words that have got more than one syllable.
Yeah.
But she's gone, that sounds good.
Well, basically she's just being like, you all think you know me through my image, but you don't actually know me.
True. And after the video, we didn't know her anymore. We knew that she was still kind of fun.
Yeah.
So she films all 4 of these characters in a phone box. So for the kids that don't understand at home, before we had mobile phones, we had phone boxes.
Yeah.
You would call people. Mm-hmm. And you could do reverse charges. I used to reverse charge my parents a lot. Sorry for that. And then the 4 different Geris, they sort of go about their day through a train station, showing off the different sides of her, and then they all come together at the end to be one Geri, who is apparently a terrible dancer.
She tries.
Throughout this campaign, she really goes for fun dancing.
Yeah.
But she doesn't quite. She has stage charm. Yeah. She doesn't so much have the moves.
Fair play to her, though. Seriously.
She does a lot of, like, hand dancing.
Mm-hmm.
Handsing.
Yeah. Hands are great, yeah.
She does a look at me by putting a circle over her eye. I mean, she does a lot of pumping with the arm.
That's inspired.
Yeah, Deli Ali, look at you. But when you compare it to like Victoria Beckham's solo launch, where she's doing all these big moves, she's rolling around on the floor.
Yeah.
You can see the difference between the one that went to stage school and the one that had to learn it on the fly.
Yeah, it's true.
And Geri does look nervous.
Yes.
Because this must have been a tricky time. She didn't know how people were going to receive her as a solo artist.
Yeah.
All these decisions are being made without any real knowledge of how the industry is going to respond.
Yeah.
The biggest controversial part of this song was chronicling the death of Ginger Spice in the video. So she literally buries Ginger Spice in that video. There's a casket and a hearse.
Yeah.
Everyone's crying. And then they pull up a Union Jack.
Yeah.
And there's Geri laughing.
That is a subtle metaphor if we ever saw one, guys.
So subtle. Geri, not so subtle.
Yeah.
Not so subtle Spice.
Not so subtle Spice.
Ends with the pun, Geri's back, and a picture of Geri's back. Sense of humour spice. It's a good song.
It is a good
It's
song.
catchy.
It missed the top spot.
Ooh.
I only made it to number 2. It was in a high-profile chart battle.
Tell me it's not Westlife.
No. Very close, though.
Boyzone?
Yes.
Oh, that must have hurt.
What boy
Well,
was it?
no. You Needed Me.
Oh, I don't
It's a
even remember
ballad.
that one.
They're all ballads.
Yeah,
Covers?
Boyzone weren't. Boyzone did
They did
their
a
own
lot of
thing.
covers.
it's true.
They did a lot of covers.
Tracy Chapman got a lot of monies from them, and that makes me
You
feel
mean
good.
they didn't write words?
Words!
Words only.
Anyway,
Well, apparently this chart battle was at Geri's request. And
Oh.
management had said, like, let's try and pick a quiet week. Let's try and guarantee a number 1. She
Yeah.
was like, no. If I'm going to do this, I want to do it against the best.
okay.
And she lost.
Ballsy.
It's
She came 2. She
Yeah,
got number 2.
Yeah.
People still know the song. It's sold all right.
And it was, it was good publicity, right? Any publicity is good.
Yeah, maybe she was thinking more that rather than the challenge.
Yeah.
Oh, there was me admiring her for being like, I'm going to go for the challenge. But no, you're like...
It was public.
Yeah, you're probably right, actually. I didn't
Yeah.
even think of that.
Yeah.
So the album comes out in the June. Schizophonic, another great pun.
I mean, in hindsight, a little insensitive.
Oh, given that we know that she is actually going through some
Mental
issues at this,
I-
starting at this
I
point.
think
she
it's
has
like,
done.
all I'm saying is that I do not think they would okay that album title now.
You're
a
right.
pun on
Yeah.
mental illness, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
and
Although
I-
at the time I thought it was so clever. I was like, that is the cleverest album title I've heard in forever.
Yeah.
Forever. I thought it was good, the title. The artwork I didn't care so much for. Because I think that's such a strong title. And the idea is meant to be, that it's all these different sounds and I've got all these different tastes and they all blend into one, and that's who is Geri Halliwell.
Yeah.
And then the artwork was that very faded white picture where she's just looking over her shoulder and her hair's blowing a bit.
Yeah.
It felt like it wasn't a strong image.
Yeah.
The idea was there was 2 album covers. So there was like the angel Geri, and then there was like a devil Geri, which
Right.
was like a red wash, and she's like lying on her back. She's got great breasts. Not that they're my thing, but she was serving it.
I mean, she always has. Yeah.
Yeah, but I just didn't think that was the strongest
Right.
imagery that they'd
Yeah.
used. In the month between Look at Me going in at number 2 and the album dropping, she did a classic and she fired her manager.
Wow.
History repeating itself.
Yeah. She didn't like the direction that they were taking, and she had different ideas. It wasn't looking good in Camp Geri.
No.
The press was starting to say it's not going to work. She's not doing very well. Which now, knowing that she did go on to have quite a bit of success after this,
Yeah.
the vultures are ready to circle,
Yeah,
aren't
they always
They
are.
thrive on failure.
Yeah.
And she comes through. It wasn't all bad press for the album. The album landed at number 4, and within 4 weeks had dropped to 53. Which at this point was not considered a success.
Right.
It wasn't looking good, and there were rumours that she would be dropped,
Right.
and that Emmy were regretting signing her.
Right.
It wasn't looking good, and there wasn't just bad press. Album reviews wise, it was, some people were describing it as the album the Spice Girls would have made if they'd stayed a quintet.
Wow.
You can kind of see she did have the fun
Yes.
element in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And because it was all produced by Absolute, it's actually more of a cohesive record than you'd expect.
Yes.
I mean, if you think about it, I don't want to compare Geri Halliwell and Beyonce Knowles.
Please don't.
But given that these days artists are thrown in with a ton of producers and writers, when you look at the liner notes, it's, hundreds of people working on it.
Yeah.
This whole album was produced by the same team, with just Geri and the same 1 or 2 songwriters.
So I think that, and it leads to cohesion.
It's no Beyonce album though.
I don't want to say that Schizophonic is more of an artistic album than Lemonade.
Obviously, dear listener, you can't see my facial expression, but it's...
Or hear the
it's-
beehive swarming. I'm joking. Lemonade is the album. That should have won the Grammy.
100%. Anyway.
But I think we don't give enough, not necessarily credit, because imagine what they could have done if they brought in a couple of decent songwriters. But I don't think people realise how much they did it all themselves.
Yeah.
It's just Geri and a small team of people.
Yes.
You don't make albums like that anymore.
No,
and I don't think at the time everyone was.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
artists were having very little say in what was going on.
Yeah, for sure.
you know, you take like Girls Aloud, for instance, another great girl band.
Yeah.
But they worked with one team.
Yes.
They weren't so much involved in it.
No.
Yeah.
So maybe Geri is a singer-songwriter.
And maybe a little bit. Well, the thing is, actually, I say that's a stretch, and then I'm like, well, actually, there is some evidence towards that. You know, she does, during her time in the Spice Girls, she does seem the strongest in saying, I mean, obviously we say that it's, maybe it's her taking credit for things, but, you know, for instance, she has a story about, she wrote, or she came up with the chorus for Too Much because she was trapped in her car trying to get off the set of Spice Girls the movie, and she was thinking, this is too much, it's too much, I need to sleep. And so, you know, she came up with that kind of that concept. There's a creative mind there.
Well, this creative mind decided it had to save the album.
Yeah.
So what did she do? She played her strongest card, the gay card.
Yeah.
She came out with the song that taught us all Spanish.
¿Dónde está el hombre? Con fuego en la sangre. I've got a secret, I cannot keep it. It's just a whisper of a distant memory. Just a dream, or so it seems. Take me back to the place I'd rather be. You left a fire in my eyes that lightens up the darkest skies. I'm giving up, I'm letting go. I'll find my way. So take me back to my sweet la vida. Find my love, my dolce vita. Show me where I need to go. ¿Dónde está mi chico latino? La 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 la, ay 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 ay, la la la.
¿Dónde está mi chico latino?
I didn't realise you were fluent.
Literally, people sometimes, like, you'll go on a date or something, someone will be like, oh, do you speak any language? I'll be like, Spanish? ¿Dónde está mi chico latino? And they're like, oh! And they don't get where it's from. I just quote Enrique Iglesias and Ricky Martin, and people think, oh, yeah.
It's a forgettable song. I'm going to put it out there.
What?
Definitely. It's a song I've listened to at the time, never thought about since. I've never heard it and thought, oh, I remember that song. I've never went on Spotify and thought, I want to play that song.
I've sung it at karaoke. It's too long for karaoke, but
I don't think it's a tune, in my opinion.
Wow. If you could see Erin's expression right now, it is...
My flabber is gasted.
Yeah.
I am flabbergasted. But the video is incredible.
Is that when she's on the boat? And
She's
she's
on the boat
looking
on
good?
some Italian or Spanish
Yeah,
island.
I'm not judging her for the video, but...
And this is where she started really cracking into the Spanish-speaking market. I remember I was on holiday in Spain, and she was being played everywhere.
Really?
She was huge, man.
Global singer-songwriter star.
She was. I don't know about this, but did she release Spanish-speaking albums? Or there were Spanish versions of her albums?
That's Christina Aguilera.
Okay.
And Justin Bieber.
I can't get on a boat without riding around on it singing with Chico Latino anymore. Even just the ferry. I'm just still on the edge. You know, when everyone else goes and does the Titanic,
Yeah.
I just lie down in a bikini.
Yeah.
¿Dónde está? It's good. And then she has about 7 hot guys just strumming around. It's very Madonna-esque,
Yes.
actually, the video.
Yeah.
She's definitely taken a love for that.
Yeah.
Except she's not Madonna.
Yeah, and also, she's not Spanish.
No.
The Spanish in this is not good.
No.
At one point, she says Dolce Vita, which is Spanish for, I've accidentally spoken some Italian. I only found this out when I put in the Spanish part of the song into Google Translate.
Yeah.
And it translated Dolce Vita as Dolce Vita.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, why is
That
that?
is Italian, yeah.
I didn't realise.
Her mother is Spanish, though.
She is, yeah.
So, I mean, okay, ethnically.
Biracial.
Yeah.
But the video was really hitting the pink pound. And it worked.
Yeah.
Straight in at number 1.
There you go.
her first of 4 consecutive chart-topping singles.
I mean, that is not to be sniffed at.
No.
You
No.
know.
Definitely not for a female British artist.
Yeah.
She then followed it with Lift Me Up, the ballad. Do you remember back in the days when every pop album, the single release was like banger, banger ballad?
Yes.
Wasn't that Wannabe, Say You'll Be There to Become One?
Yeah, that's right.
Say La Vie, Roller Coaster, To You I Belong.
I always remember that. That was always the pattern.
Banger, banger ballad. I remember when I wanted to be a pop star and I would write banger, banger ballads all day while I was walking my dog.
Oh, well, one day, darling.
I'd say it's too late.
Jennifer Lopez?
Oh,
It's never
30.
too late.
30 she was though.
Never too late.
The Lift Me Up video. So it's a pretty little ballad. Went to number 1 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now that she's doing this starts to turn around the album.
Yeah.
Like once she starts having number 1s,
Yes.
the album starts selling
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
better. It was a
Yeah.
climber. Same as Mel C really, as in it was climbing.
It's
Yeah.
a grower, not a shower.
It was. It ended up going double platinum, which is
Impressive.
very impressive.
Yeah.
Even charted at number 42 on the US Billboard.
That's very impressive.
The strongest solo
Yes.
outing for a Spice Girl in America. The Lift Me Up video, I rewatched it the other day. So this is the one where she's driving her car and then she meets the aliens from Spice World the movie. Well, they're not the same aliens, but she loves meeting an alien.
Yeah.
It's hilarious to look back on.
Yes.
At the time, I don't remember everyone being like, what are you doing, Geri? But she's there in a vest top wearing some heinous yellow glasses.
Yeah.
They are awful. The premise appears to be Geri's driving through the desert at night with seemingly low purpose or roof on her car, which would be freezing. And the smoke starts coming from her engine.
Yeah.
Which, what a bummer. So she starts checking under the hot bonnet without any gloves or protection.
Yeah, she did.
As you do. And then a small grey alien harasses her bottom.
Yeah.
Instead of calling Me Too and being woke, she just starts chatting to him and they steal all the parts of her car and then they all go on a high-speed heist of a petrol station and then run away from the police.
It seems realistic as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's based on a day in her life.
Really gritty there, yeah.
The Lift Me Up video, this song was also where we saw her go up against Emma Bunton in their chart battle.
Ooh, yeah.
Then she comes out with Bag It Up, the upbeat ballad.
Yeah.
Her next chart-topping single, beat Blink 182 to the top.
Oh my,
Where are they now?
Wow.
The video for Bag Me Up is, I think it invented homosexuality. It's so gay.
Yeah.
So she's got this boyfriend that's a bit, you know, he's from Venus and she's from Mars, or whichever way around it is. He doesn't like TV, she does.
Right,
she
yes.
wants to be stimulated, he doesn't stimulate
Doesn't know
her.
where the clitoris is. Yep.
I actually meant,
This is a kid's show.
I meant intellectually stimulated, actually. That's the line, is like, she
Can we
wants
say
to
that line again, please?
Karen, the clitoris is a part of the human anatomy.
No.
Not your human anatomy.
Not for this podcast.
The whole video is so gay. So she tries to level up her boyfriend by poisoning his food with girl powder, and that apparently turns him into a gay man, which is really what all straight women want.
Yes.
A gay man that will do them.
That's basically, yeah, for real.
And then she goes into the girl powder factory, which is completely operated exclusively by hunky, oily men with pink hair who pole dance in between their shifts. Geri's wearing this sort of catsuit, because the Spice Girls loved a catsuit, that's unzipped to pretty much her belly button.
Yeah,
She has
classic.
the ridiculously long extensions, the full-on Lady Godiva look. They're going down to her feet, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's a look.
Yes.
And it's Ginger Spice is gone and Adonis Spice is in. She's really trying. It's so camp.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's what she really wanted, wasn't it?
Yes.
A gay man. That's why she slept with Duncan from Blue.
Ooh.
He's out.
Okay, good.
I think he's bi.
Oh, yeah, of course he is. We'll cut that, because one day I'm going to marry
And
him.
it's allegedly.
It's not alleged.
Well, I think he's bi, he's not gay though.
You don't see him sleeping with women.
Well, nowadays.
Later that year, she's also nominated for 2 Brit Awards.
Ooh.
Best Female Solo Artist and Best Pop Act.
Right, well done.
Loses out to both of them. Loses out to Beth Orton and then 5.
Who's the first one?
Beth Orton.
Yeah, I don't know where she is now, but...
She was very respectable at the time. It'd be another year before we got new music. But in 2001, she comes back with Go Get Yourself Wet, Girls.
I know you want to.
You know, this is an absolute banger of a cover. Like, she really smashed it. Because I think people were expecting the second album from her to be, you know, just digressing, like not reach the heights of the first one. The heights that they were.
Well, this wasn't technically from the second album.
Right.
So
Yeah.
the single is It's Raining Men, a cover of the Weather Girls track. And it was recorded for the Bridget Jones movie.
Right.
So it was released as the lead single from the soundtrack to that. She was done with the album. She knew what the lead single was. And then she was approached to do the song. And she wasn't sure about it at first, I think. I don't think she regrets it now.
No, I do not think so.
And
She's
she
having
comes out.
fun in this video, you can tell. I think so.
I think she's really tried to step up the dancing. So when you watch the videos, the production is so much bigger.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And she has worked out. I remember that was the kind of the buzz around it, was that her physique had changed so much. Of course, that is, you know, there's things behind that which we will get into, more serious matters. But yeah, I remember that being a lot about, wow.
She looked like a different person.
She's a different
She had the
person.
short blonde bob.
Yeah.
Which actually really suited her.
It does, yeah.
She's done that look a few times since.
Yeah.
The song was huge. It went top 10 in over 24 countries.
Yeah.
Went number 1 in the UK, which made her the first British female solo artist to get 4 number 1 singles.
Wow.
She would obviously later be equalled by Cheryl Cole.
Wow.
And surpassed by her future opening artist, Jess Glynne.
Don't know how I feel about that.
Jess Glynne's are collaborations.
Uh-huh.
I think sort of 3 of the 5 are collaborations with like Clean Bandit and Tiny Hamper and things. So
Right, okay.
not necessarily as the lead solo artist. Jerry's were all her own.
Yeah.
She never had a collaborator.
There you go.
Well, we'll see how we feel about Jess Glynne when we go to this.
Yeah.
Girls.
I'm
Of course.
open-minded.
Yes.
But only because of how much we paid for the ticket.
If anyone has any VIP free comps, we'd be happy
Yeah.
to take you up on them. There would just be 6 of us going.
The video for It's Raining Men recreated the movie Fame.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Fitting for Geri, really.
Yeah.
Like, if there was a movie that was gonna summarise it. It's a hell of a lot of dancing and fun and atmosphere. But in particular, she does this solo dance in the pants and half vest top.
Yeah.
And she's ripped. Like,
Yeah.
she's just
Yeah.
one long thin piece of muscle at that point.
Yeah.
And this is the worst thing, I don't remember looking at that and thinking, that's not right.
Yeah.
Which is worrying. Like, that worries me.
Like, she got so much positive response for it. Even though, I mean, there was a lot of kind of selfish talk, but I think a lot of guys, a lot of male
Yeah.
commentators who were like, oh, I missed when she was curvy and, you know, like...
Had
our
boobs.
our boobs were bigger and, you know, but that was all just because they liked lusting after her. There wasn't any concern about her health.
Yeah. At this point, everyone's pretty on board with it.
Yeah.
So much so that she releases the first of her yoga DVDs.
Yeah.
Because this was Yoga Spice. She credited everything that she'd done to her body through yoga.
Right, yeah.
Which, at that time, we were all still believing.
Yeah.
I believed yoga literally made you half the size you were.
And
I did one stretch one time, and now I'm a size 6.
No, she must have been doing a lot more than that.
Oh, she wasn't eating.
Yeah.
Yoga was huge. It was Geri's Kabbalah.
Yes.
It was everything to her. She talked about it all the time.
Yeah.
Which is surprising, because yoga is all about mindfulness and calm energy and personal awareness.
Yeah.
Which are not things I would have put on Geri's Tinder profile.
Right.
Like, The Telegraph reviewed it. They said it stretched their patience. It described it. She's one of those attention seekers in class who wrecks exercise by jabbering onto the teacher about her aches and pains. I haven't watched the DVD, but I can believe.
Yeah.
It did quite well. It sold 75,000 copies in the first week.
For a, you know, a exercise video, that's
Yeah.
impressive, actually.
Successful enough to get a sequel a year later. 8 out of 10 star rating on IMDb.
Wow.
And remember, yoga wasn't so renowned as it is now.
She's definitely helped it
Yeah.
in, yeah. I'm surprised she hasn't done more Since the reunion in the last, 6-7 years, I'm surprised she hasn't had a fitness DVD of some kind.
Yeah. I suppose she's got the kids now and, you know.
All the more reason, I'm surprised she hasn't done, a post-pregnancy one after she had Monty, or, exercise for busy working mums.
Yeah. But
that might be hard to swallow. But
there might be something about she is more well mentally now, and maybe exercise in that extreme does have some baggage.
Maybe.
You know?
Well, after the yoga DVDs, we do get the follow-up album, Scream If You Want to Go Faster.
Lonely hearts are welcome here. Take my hand, let's disappear. Serenity is almost here, oh Lord. Don't let life pass you by. Jump on in, get ready to fly. Give me some gasoline. Tell me what you want, know what I mean. And scream if you wanna go faster, baby. Scream if you wanna go faster.
Also, while she's doing promo at this point, this is my favourite moment of Geri Halliwell's career that I think people have forgotten. So, Jennifer Lopez, as we've before mentioned, is famous for wearing the green Versace dress.
Goddess.
Yes, the goddess dress, the one that goes down to her navel.
Yeah, it's just two pieces. It's a bit like
a dressing gown.
Like a dressing gown.
A glamorous.
Don't say that to Donna Marcella Versace. That just attaches just above the knee, effectively.
Yeah.
And it's the jungle print.
Yeah.
And she appears with P. Diddy.
Fairly
and you can see everything.
transparent. Yeah.
She's looking fierce.
Yeah.
She was not the first person to wear that dress.
No.
A month earlier,
Our
Geri
girl
wore
Geri
the dress
did, yeah.
to a film premiere. Because there's this great, I think it's like an MTV making the video or a documentary about Jennifer Lopez, where they're just following her around. And the stylist, they're showing them some dresses, and Jennifer's like, I don't like them. And she's like, I want to wear that green one, the Versace. And the stylist is like, some other girl wore it. I'm pretty sure she said something along the line of, some other girl.
Wow.
And Jenny's like, I don't care, I want to wear that dress. And she wore it.
Yeah.
And it was as if she erased Geri.
I didn't even know Geri had worn this dress.
Yeah.
When I sent you that picture.
Yeah.
We'll put the two pictures on the Twitter so you can see. I've tried really hard and I can't find a really good picture of Geri in that dress.
No,
If you have one, send it to
swamped
at Pod of the Pops.
She's very petite.
She's very small and Jennifer had the body at that point.
And
She's
Geri
very
just had the
athletic.
hair. She had really long blonde hair.
She
at
didn't
that point.
style it right. Yeah, she had the long blonde. And I think she thinks she's very nervous at this point.
Yeah.
And I don't think she stops for the cameras properly to get
Right.
photographed.
Yeah.
I think that's a part of it. Then in 2001, we also get the follow-up album, Scream If You Want to Go Faster, inspired by every carny that worked at the waltzers at your village fair.
I have to say, I kind of forgot about this album. For me,
I
it wasn't
didn't.
really...
I actually really recall this album. I can even hear Scream If You Want to Go Faster in my head right now.
Yeah, but can
Yeah.
you think of any other songs from the album off the top of your head?
I can, because I've always done a hell of a lot of research.
That's what
She
I
only
mean.
released one more single.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't recall that there was
It wasn't
more.
a big campaign. But
Yeah.
technically it's a 3-single album, because she had Raining Men.
Yeah,
Right,
that's true.
that was
Came
on
before
this.
it.
Yeah.
The lead single, Scream If You Want to Go Faster, it's very Blondie-esque. I
Yeah,
thought.
it is, yeah.
She's trying that, isn't she? It's
Yeah.
had a really strong look.
Mm-hmm.
So she's got the blonde bob again. She's wearing... God, she never wore anything that went past her knee at this point. Everything
Yeah.
was short booty shorts, wasn't it?
Yeah, or past our belly button. It was
Yeah.
all crop tops.
It was
booty
really
shorts.
showing everything.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
summer every day. And she's really trying to be a bit of a blondie.
Yeah.
Apparently the theme with the album is rock and roll.
Really?
Apparently Robbie Williams told us to listen to Led Zeppelin and draw inspiration. I mean, for me, this is like
No offence to Led
Geri's
Zeppelin.
interpretation of Ashley Simpson, who was also trying to impersonate Natalie Imbruglia. So
Yeah, yeah.
it feels very filtered down.
Yes, yeah.
But Scream If You Want to Go Faster was Visually, I think it had a really good song.
It was
I think
a
her
strong visual, it was, yeah.
Her voice sounds better on this than it does on many tracks. Like, she's found a nice groove for her voice.
Yeah.
Which, not easy to do if you're Geri Halliwell. That suited her, I thought. I refuse to slate this song because she's later gone on to say that this is the song she wrote on the first day of her recovery meeting from bulimia.
Right.
About all the things she did to distract herself from that.
So was this Scream If You Want to Go Faster?
Yeah.
Right.
Lead single.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't necessarily get that from the track.
No, it's not what you would expect, but...
That was a surprise to read.
Yeah.
Enemy didn't like it. They said, this is not singing, but the sound a seal makes when you run over its stomach in a Land Rover.
Wow.
There is some element of truth in that.
I don't think it's that bad.
No.
Have a nice day, as Americans say. Great line.
Great line.
I think I'm just remembering the live performances here, and I think that's tainting my thoughts.
She's not, at this point, the best one live, but she has a lot of energy and she gives it a really good go.
Yeah.
It was the lowest charting single of her career at the time.
Wow.
Number 8. This is where the tide really starts turning on Geri.
Yeah.
Really, in terms of record sales.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a premonition of things to come.
Yeah.
What she would give for a number 8 single now.
Yeah.
So it wasn't originally going to be that lead single. The original lead single was a track called Feels Like Sex.
I mean...
Which was on the album.
That is a subtle title.
Well, I'll play you a little bit now.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt too hot to go to bed? Touch yourself instead and watch your body talk. Just let your body talk. Have you ever felt just too hungry for love? The more you get, you find out it's just not enough. But you really can't give it up.
I have to say that Feels Like Sex, the actual tune, is better than the title suggests.
See, I hated that the most. When I first heard this song, I thought it was god-awful. I couldn't believe it was even considered an album track.
Right.
It sounds like something that was rejected by Louise Redknapp for deeming it too bland.
Wow.
That's how I felt when I heard the not so much the lyrics, the backing track.
Okay.
It sounds cheap.
Yeah.
It sounds like someone tried to recreate naked on their phone in a toilet. Like, do you remember when you used to plug in you used to get the songbooks that you could write your own ringtones for?
Uh-huh.
I think it sounds like that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, maybe you have a point.
I'm glad they didn't go with this as a lead track.
Yes.
It would have been, hit the sex button, Geri, but that's a bit much.
Yeah. It's fairly obvious on the track. And also, some of the lyrics are questionable. Like,
Do share.
then... If it feels like love, then give it baby, that's a rush. If it feels like pain, it's really just the same. Is it? I mean, what are you saying there, Geri? I don't know what you're saying. I mean, obviously BDSM is cool, man, but like consent, etc. But
Yeah, is there a line in there that if it feels like not consent, please leave?
I don't know about that, but...
She hasn't gone there.
Oh, I have to say, this is pre-Chain and Whips Excite Me Rihanna, isn't it?
But Rihanna was complicit.
So, have you ever had a mind too dirty to read Kinky Freaks, Why Don't You Get Down on Your Knees? Okay, fair enough.
I think as the 16 or 17-year-old I was at this time, I would have struggled to relate.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a mind so dirty to read? No, not really. I haven't kissed a boy.
Yeah.
I want to, but...
Yeah, I think this would have been a hard one for the audience to...
I mean, actually, that's a point to make, is that there is a transition there from the Spice Girls, which were always... With the Spice Girls, it was always kind of subtle sexual references.
I think I would have been... I think I would have been 15.
Yeah. And so Geri's going a bit more in your face about it.
Well, she's definitely putting it in your face here.
Yeah.
Although they didn't go with this as the lead single, I wonder whether they kept all of the original choreography and staging for the live performances of Scream If You Want to Go Faster.
Yeah.
Because she's riding around in a Harley in a black leotard. And then in the live performances, she has 6 leotarded girls licking her. I swear, I saw it in the park. One of the girls licks her, one of the backing dancers. I think it says so much about the time that the girl who carried the torch for feminism is now being licked by a backup dancer while her male technician turns off the mic because she wasn't singing live in that one.
Yeah. I mean, of course.
The Party in the
No
Park is one of the
shame
most awkward performances. Did you watch that one? The 2001?
Yeah, it kind of really... It was really uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah, you can feel that she's not super comfortable up there.
Yeah.
And the audience are not... They're not there for her. They're like waiting for the next act or something.
I think when she comes on, it's either that one or the 1999 one, I can't quite remember. She comes on stage and says, I'm really nervous, I was, bricking it before I got on stage. And she says that to the audience, and that's quite nice that she's saying that, but I don't know if the audience then actually gave her any reassurance.
It's a risk to admit that, because on one hand it could, you're being open with people and people can appreciate that, but also that may just be like, oh well, yeah, you were right to be nervous. And you're terrible.
And she's a professional. She's been
she's
doing
not
this
terrible. The performance is still good, especially for the time. Visually, she's got a lot of dancers. There's a lot of staging. She's doing all of that. Yeah. It's not much worse than some of the Britney performances we've had in the last few years.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah,
but you can feel. I felt like I could see the dancers uncomfortable. Yeah. And that's when you know it's a problem, because they're trained not to react to anything.
Yes.
So, on the album, when she was talking about it, she said, there's deeper meaning underneath if you care and choose to look. Some of it is deep as a puddle. Some of it is a bottomless pit, like a well. I don't think she was referring to feels like sex.
No, I really hope not.
Yeah.
The album isn't awful. I just find it hard to listen to a whole album of Geri. I really find myself missing Victoria's vocals.
Yeah.
Every minute of every song. She's got a great voice. Geri's got a great voice for a band. Because she brings so much attitude, but it's just...
Yeah.
And I feel like that with a lot of them, actually. It's hard to get through a whole album of that, because it's a bit abrasive. You need a bit more pacing in it.
Yeah, I would say, in comparison to Mel C, it's... Yeah.
Yeah, Mel C can carry an album. Yeah. She would have one more single in this era. The moody ballad, Calling. Which she's gone on to say is her favourite. Oh. Even George Michael praised her for it. Oh. She obviously played everything to George, her best friend.
Yes.
Geri was really proud of this one. She really was hoping it'd be a big, critically acclaimed hit.
I don't remember it at the time.
It did not get publicity. It sort of slipped right out, really. Geri doesn't have the voice for it. It's a nice enough song. She doesn't have the voice to carry it. I mean, Emma would have killed this. Claire from Steps would have killed this.
No.
Geri is fun. Earnest ballads aren't the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, Geri is fun. Maybe I could say that she's trying to do too many things at one time. Do we feel that?
Well, she's definitely busy this year and she's making her money. I think the thing with Geri is she knows that she's fun, but she wants to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
So she'll do the fun stuff. She'll do It's Raining Men in the hopes that you'll give her Calling a chance.
Yeah.
And people weren't giving her a chance for that. And I think that must have been what's hard.
Yeah.
And that's what drives us into this next bit, which is she moves to LA. This is where we start seeing all of the problems. Her eating disorder really materialises.
Yeah.
The press are after her. She's not being well received in the public image.
Yeah.
And by March 2002, she attends a treatment centre for her eating disorder.
She's very, very slim at this point.
Yeah.
It's looking a bit kind of lollipop heads.
Yeah. Her weight had plummeted to 7 stone.
Oh my God.
It's shocking, especially she'd been the curvy one in the band.
Yes.
When you see pictures of her next to herself.
It is a shocking change. And it's also, I think... I feel like nowadays there would be more concern in a nice way. It was a very kind of uncaring, malicious.
Yeah.
Oh, look what she's done. It's so weird that she's changed like that. But people just
There was no sympathy or empathy.
there was
for
no
her.
yeah.
And there wasn't a lot of action at the time either. So I found an interview in the Evening Standard from someone that was working with Geri during 2001. Said, a year ago, I stood in Los Angeles with Geri Halliwell, who had stripped down to a G-string to shoot for the Marie Claire cover. I've seen some skinny models in my time, but she had the body of a pre-adolescent child. We'd been expecting the healthy new Geri, yoga Geri, but everyone at the shoot was shocked at the flesh and blood reality. We received a fax stipulating that on no account should any fattening food be made available, only steamed rice and vegetable. And I remember leaving the shoot feeling incredibly depressed that a young, beautiful and successful woman was not comfortable in her own body and unable to escape the tyranny of food.
That is very sad.
So that is the cover of Marie Claire.
Right.
Let me show it to you.
Okay.
And we'll put this up.
So this is the cover
Yeah.
that we've just had described. Honestly, I think she looks great. She looks healthy and happy.
She does. I mean, yes, she is skinny in this photo, but they've managed to do it, you know, so to give you an idea, she's wearing jeans and a cropped halter neck top. And yes, she's smiling, and the smile seems fairly genuine. But knowing
She's got a glow.
she does have a glow.
And that is because they painted her with oil and they've tied the clothes behind her back. Everything had to be pinned. That her flesh was looking so like grey and dark that they were having to colour it and spray it.
I think
It's
this is
quite
a
sad.
great example of how what we have no idea about what goes on behind the scenes and how much of the images we see are altered. The concerns are covered over.
Yeah, I've got 2 more magazine covers from this time of Geri. One is GQ, where she's in like a sexy little brief and like a jacket.
Yeah.
Boobs are great.
Yes.
For someone with an eating disorder is not common. Like, I think there's been some editing work there.
Yeah, I think so. They've photoshopped that.
She honestly looks great. And then I've got another one from the cover of Attitude where you can kind of see how ripped she is.
Yes.
But still not looking bad.
No,
Apart
she looks
from
good.
her, the way she stood with her hips pushing forward, the hip bones to me are a little concerning in that image. You know, they are sticking out.
I think the thing that got me was I worry that I did not at the time think this. Like, I wasn't looking at her and being like, this is a problem, look how bad she looks. I remember thinking, she looks great. Is she doing sit-ups? I'm going to do some sit-ups.
Yeah.
Like, which maybe says more about me and my relationship with exercise than hers. But she wasn't hiding it or covering it up as well.
No.
The whole aesthetic around this period,
Yeah.
she's wearing very few clothes.
Yes.
When she's pictured at the Brit Awards giving that award to Robbie Williams, he's looking very disinterested. She has got like this tiny little halter neck on. The whole of her back is exposed.
Yes.
This is not someone who is hiding in big bulky jumpers because she doesn't want anyone to know how thin she is. This is someone who's proudly...
Yeah, I mean, you compare it to that drab outfit she's wearing in the last Top of the Pops appearance with the Spice Girls. It is a big contrast.
Exactly, yeah.
But do we think the psychology behind all of this is that she was pushing Ginger? I mean, quite literally, she buried her in the very first video. And this is, I am trying to go as far away from the aesthetic of Ginger Spice as possible.
I think she also, a part of her needed the... not just the attention, but the validation from it. Like, love me, accept me. Like, is this what you want from me?
Yeah.
And it sounds like no one was saying no. No one was trying to intervene.
Yeah.
Like, this article came out, the article that I read came out a year later. No one at that shoot, they got rid of all the unhealthy food.
Yeah.
They tied the top up at the back and they put her on the cover looking great. They don't say or describe on there, oh, you know, how difficult it is. The words are, and how she got that amazing body.
On the cover of Marie Claire, yeah.
They took the photo.
Yeah.
They've all said how troubling it was. And they've said, it's an amazing body. There's a real responsibility from the press there.
Yes.
It makes you wonder, how much better is it now?
We'll put these pictures up for you on social media platforms.
Absolutely. So this is, she does go into rehab. She credits Robbie Williams for getting her there. And she said it saved her life.
Good for you, Robbie.
She did date Robbie.
Was it around this time? When was it?
Yeah. So Robbie sent her to rehab. Now that was quite a heavy discussion.
Yes. Yeah.
So I thought we can make it a bit more light-hearted.
Okay.
So I thought we'd play Snog, Marry, Avoid with Geri's exes.
Woo!
Now, because it's Geri, and this is a pop music podcast, a popcast, if you will, I thought we shouldn't just play Snog, Marry, Avoid. We should play Snog, Marry, Avoid, sing a duet with, have as a gay best friend, and car share to work with. I just imagine she car shares.
Yeah.
So these are your options. Robbie Williams.
Yeah.
Chris Evans. Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit.
Wow.
He's been everywhere.
Yeah.
Lee from Blue.
Uh-huh.
Duncan from Blue.
Yeah.
David Williams.
That's right.
Shipping tycoon Fabrizio Politi. Russell Brand. Her rehab roommate Demian Warner. Polo player Jamie Morrison. Or Darius Dinesh.
Wow. Where do
I've
we
got
start?
them here if you want to. I would avoid Chris Evans.
I was going to marry him.
He probably is alright to marry. Billie Piper was married to him for a while, and
she says
she's
nothing
still
but
friends
good
with him.
things,
Yeah.
yeah.
I would say I would marry Darius Dinesh.
Good choice. Pre-hair or post-haircut?
Oh, post-hair. We're talking, when he came back and he was a big deal. Yeah.
I am definitely going to marry Duncan from Blue.
Okay.
And one day I will.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, did I ever tell you about that time I met Duncan from Blue?
No.
Oh my god. It was at Euston train station and we had incredible chemistry. I literally felt it as he pushed me to one side and I landed against the wall. It was...
Wow.
And that was the moment. I've seen him twice actually, just in the street, and each time I've pretty much fainted. So that's marry. Snog. I'd maybe snog
Robbie
Lee.
Williams.
I'd snog Lee from Blue, because then when me and Duncan are married, we could both talk about how many times we'd snog Lee.
Yeah, I'm also Robbie Williams for the snow.
I'm avoiding Chris Evans. He's just
David
not...
Williams.
Oh, yeah. I'm avoiding Fred Durst. Fred Durst is
Oh, you should avoid Fred Durst.
yeah.
It's bad news, isn't it, actually?
Yeah.
But he's a bad boy, so maybe keep him on the side.
Okay, and I love Limp Bizkit back in the day, to be fair.
I'm going to car share to work with the shipping tycoon, Fabrizio Politi, so I imagine he's got a nice car.
That's a good shout. I will also do that.
I will have David Williams as my gay best friend.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, everyone's so surprised that he's straight, right?
Which I think would make him a good one.
Yeah.
I'm going to sing my duet with Darius Dinesh.
Oh, okay. That would be a good one. Yes.
I'm going to go for Limp Bizkit there. That's childhood dreams.
That would be a good one.
Played
Yeah.
out in reality.
Okay, I would one of the Blue Boys to sing duet
Oh,
with
go for Lee.
Lee.
He does the high notes.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Sorry, Duncan.
Sorry, Duncan.
Well, let us know yours. We'll post up the list. We also get the second of her autobiographies around this time.
Yeah, 'cause she has two.
She has two. How many of them did you take out of South Lanarkshire Library?
I think I read the first one. I actually think I was gifted it.
Oh.
But yeah, that's when I kind of knew most about her eating disorders and her relationship with her mum and her dad and how she felt, when her father passed away. She actually told a really funny story in it about when she was 18, she had a job, or maybe 16, a bit hazy on the details here, but when she was young, she had a job and she had to dress up as like some sort of like nurse or like a bit of a kinky uniform.
Right.
And like walk about like the market selling, I can't even...
Melons?
It was like a random market stall, but she didn't realise at the time how sexualised, what they had made her dress up as actually was.
She was naive, yeah.
Yeah, she was quite naive. And she also told another story about when her mum came to stay and Geri had bought like Egyptian cotton sheets and her mum had spilt tea or something on the sheets and Geri said, I'll just get more, and she said, no, I'll wash them and I'll get it, and she's like, I've got the money. And
her mum is really funny about
her
the
mum
money,
just can't understand that because she didn't have money.
Yeah, I think that's probably quite sad actually. Her mum is really funny because she appears in quite a few of the documentaries.
Yeah, I think she's very humble.
Yeah, and she still lives a very... frugal's probably the wrong word, but like quite a small life really.
Yeah.
In the first documentary, Geri, she's bought this house, this like big country house. It's not huge, but she's bought this nice house.
Yeah.
And Geri's mum comes to see it, and the first thing she says is, "Oh, it's so big, you will get lost." That was my terrible attempt at her mum's accent.
Oh,
but
bless her.
yeah, she's just she's very humble
Yeah.
still, her mum.
Yeah.
Totally unaffected by it all.
Yeah.
Which is nice actually. That must be
Yeah.
quite...
I hope
Geri
that's-
needs that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hope that's like a grounding person in her life.
Her autobiographies have done well as well. The first one sold 1 million copies. She's not to be sniffed at.
Yeah, because people did want to know what was on the record.
They didn't want to buy the record, but they wanted to know.
Yeah.
Shame on them. Here's a good question.
Okay.
Who is the first Spice Girl to appear as a TV talent show judge?
Oh, is it Geri?
It is Geri.
Oh.
How many of them have appeared as TV talent show judges?
Okay, so we've got Geri,
Mel
B.
B. Mel C. I think she did a stint on one of them.
I don't think Mel C has, because she's spoken out against them, right? She wrote a whole song about how she judges...
Next Best Superstar.
Yeah,
She
TV
did.
talent shows.
We've got
so-
Victoria. I don't know if she has. Although,
I don't think she
I
has.
think she would be nervous too, because, you know,
Emma,
she would...
Emma has, right? So I think 3 of them. I think Geri, Mel B and Emma.
I'm going to say 4 of them, including Mel C.
All 5 of them.
What?
Yeah, so as you correctly said, Geri's obviously done Pop Stars Rivals, and she's had a couple of stints on X Factor and Australia's Got Talent.
Right.
Mel B has obviously done America's Got Talent, and she's done UK X Factor.
Yeah.
Mel C had a stint on the BBC's Search for Jesus Christ Superstar.
Does
She
that
would
count?
Yes, it is.
She
Yeah.
also did Asia's Got Talent.
Okay.
Oh, right, okay.
Emma has done... But you're right, I'd forgotten she'd done that big thing about
Yes.
TV talent shows, and then I think she was angry at the time and she mellowed.
And the money
Yes.
was too good.
Yeah. Also, I suppose she maybe justified it in that the one that she did was like musical theatre.
But
So-
she did Asia's Got Talent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emma did Boy Band in
Uh-huh.
America, the search
Yeah.
for a boy band.
Yeah.
Victoria appeared for a short 1-episode stint on American Idol.
Did she really?
Was that when she was trying to break into America?
Or was it around the time that David got signed to LA Galaxy?
Yeah, it's when she's going to America, yeah.
Okay,
There's a
that
bit
makes
there.
sense. So
But
Geri was the
Geri
first.
came out first,
Yeah.
appearing in Pop Stars The Rivals, which was an early TV talent singing competition which formed a new boy and girl band and charted their competing race to Christmas #1 on the UK
Yeah.
singles chart. Should eventually be won by none other than Girls Aloud,
There you
with Sound of
go.
the Underground.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's all of the people in Girls Aloud. There's all this early footage of Geri judging them. Which is
Yeah.
interesting, isn't it? It's the new... She actually... Not only can we say the Spice Girls, like, musically are responsible, but quite literally Geri is responsible for the creation.
I think that's very
That's
grand.
quite outlandish.
Yeah, that's a... I don't think Cheryl Cole feels she owes Geri much.
No.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Well, they would later go
And
on
also-
to sit on the X Factor panel together, Geri and
Yeah.
Cheryl.
And also Geri was infatuated with Cheryl's looks, which...
Well, Geri not so much. The guys.
She's
There
really
is
saying she was gorgeous, though, and you're thinking, what about her voice? Her
We'll play
talent?
the clip. Yeah, they all leech on Cheryl a bit there.
Yeah,
It's a
gross.
bit awkward to
Bit
watch back
disappointing.
now.
Have you ever felt your heart was breaking? Looking down the road you should be taking. I should know, 'cause I loved and lost the day I let you
Okay,
go.
okay. I want to put it through.
You look
You
exotic.
have
Yeah.
the most beautiful eyes and skin I think I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yes, stunning. Can't be nervous.
Do you really want to be a pop singer?
I wouldn't be happy doing anything else, 19.
Is it all you want to do? Mm-hmm. You know it's a really tough life?
I know, yeah.
It's not
glamorous. I know.
It's early mornings, late nights, and lots of bullshit.
Scott, we'll see you back in London.
Yeah.
Okay?
Thanks
Bye-bye.
very
Bye-bye.
much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Gorgeous.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Gorgeous.
You get through? I'm through?
You'd need to be dead if you didn't think she was stunning. My God.
The show is so... When you rewatch it now on YouTube, which you can, almost in full, it's so low budget. Like, they can't afford the song rights, so they all just keep singing things like, I'm so excited, like, all the time. And they wear such cheap outfits. Like, they've really not spent a lot of money on the styling.
And they go to their houses to tell them whether they're in the band or not. I mean,
Yeah.
how awkward is that?
That
You're
was
not in the
cool.
band. Okay, you're in my house. Get out of my house because I want to just go and cry.
Yeah. And then, like, sometimes they're posed with the... So in the original Pop Stars, which is where they make one band, which made Hearsay,
Yes.
they go to Michelle Heaton's house to tell her that she isn't in the band. And they've already got the champagne ready. Her family are like...
Oh.
And I think her mum goes, should we open the champagne anyway? You've done so well.
The third judge is Nigel, and he's travelled to Gateshead to see Michelle.
Hi,
Hello.
Michelle.
Hello.
How are you? I'm freezing.
I bet you are. It's cold in the northeast.
But I know you don't want me to beat about the bush, because the judge's decision's important to you. So I won't. I'm afraid you haven't been chosen for the band. And I'm sorry.
Okay.
I thought you would have gotten it. I thought you would have gotten it.
You right?
Yeah. We're still going to have a glass of champagne to celebrate. Aren't we? She got this far. We're really proud that she got this far anyway.
It's harsh.
Oh, God.
Building you up for a fail. So this is literally filmed months after Geri's come out of rehab.
Mm-hmm.
Which I didn't realise at the time. So she's on the judging panel with Pete Waterman, Louis Walsh.
Can I just say, Louis Walsh, does the man age? He looks exactly the same. He's just like, he came out the womb looking like that. Do you know what I mean?
Interestingly, originally, Chris Evans was meant to be on the judging panel as well.
But he's so musically talented.
He had radio at the time, didn't he? But he turned it down, which must have been nice for Geri, because they dated. That could have been a bit awkward.
Oh, yeah.
The show was also sponsored by McDonald's, which is a bit awkward, given that Geri was literally there months
Do you not
after
remember that
coming out of
juice
rehab.
as well? The fizzy juice that was sponsored? TNT or something?
It's a funny old watch. Geri is not... She's probably more comfortable presenting there than anything else I've seen her on, but it's not... She's a bit erratic still, as you'd imagine, as she's just come out of rehab.
Yeah.
But it's because it's so low budget. Like, it's before all the flashness of talent shows that we have now.
Yeah.
Like, it just gives space for her to be... Like, she's sat on the judging panel in a parka coat.
Yes.
Which, you imagine that now? Like, Cheryl Cole, when she judges, she's in these... You know,
glamour.
they're full glamour. Geri's got her hair in bunches and a parka coat on.
Yeah, yeah.
On the live shows, she's got her dog with her. She's got her dog with her sat in her lap.
Yeah, that is bizarre.
It's all very strange. Can you remember the name of the boy band that lost out to Girls Aloud?
One True Voice.
Well done, Karen.
Wow.
Can you
I
name
love
them?
I love that she knew it straight away.
Can you name their singles?
I can't, because it was so forgettable.
Lauren?
No.
It was something about their name, I think.
No.
Song title, no.
Sacred Trust. I found my heart right up to the...
Anyway, we're digressing.
We are digressing. After this, Geri takes a bit of a break. She moves to LA to chill out, and she relaunches her career in 2004 with a couple of movie cameos. She appears in Fat Slags, the film.
Oh, I love that film.
Have you seen it?
No.
I think they are Scottish or the Northern. Can't remember.
I think it got terrible reviews.
I've never even heard of it.
Don't know her role in it. She also appears in Sex and the City, season 6.
Okay, you know.
She bumps into Samantha on the street. She has access to a pool, and she's trying very hard.
Oh, that's right.
Samantha, darling!
Oh, yes, that's right.
Then we get the documentary, There's Something About Geri, which is a good watch. That's on YouTube. Thank you, Geri Halliwell Brazil, for superfans. It's all building in, tying up to the release of her new single, Ride It, which is classic Geri.
Yeah.
Let's play a bit.
Bass kicks in, I can dance like no one's watching. It's a funny kind of feeling, 'cause you're the only one who can pump it out the way I like. You're a DJ, I'm a song, take me out and turn me on, let yourself go. Chicas bumping to the beat, from the side and underneath. Yeah, my body's where this party's at. You're a DJ, I'm a song, take me out and turn me on, you're spinning it.
So that is Ride It.
Wow.
As you said, Karen, very Kylie Minogue-esque.
Yeah.
She's really tried to hit the disco.
She looks great with curves and with that original brown, reddish hair back. She looks great.
She does look great in this video, and you're right. She's really gone away, taken some time out, and she looks amazing.
Yeah.
The video is pure Geri. She's back playing characters.
Cheeky, fun, tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
She's doing all the characters she knows.
Yeah.
She's dressed as a police officer, sexually harassing a male model. She's happy there.
Yeah.
She's saying Spanish words in her song.
Yes.
Geri's back.
Geri's
Who
back.
is Geri Halliwell?
Yeah.
She's whoever you want her to be. She's having a lot of fun.
Yes.
I remember this song being the first time I went to a gay club, just being played to me, running around in my little vest top, being happy as Larry.
Oh, bless you.
It's classic Geri. So in the documentary, there's something about Geri. It's a bit sad because she's sort of recording this campaign and she's releasing this album and it doesn't do well.
No.
This song, she was meant to meet with a choreographer, and I've just remembered this, and they cancel, or she doesn't like what he's done for her, or she doesn't think she can do it. So she goes, I'm going to do it myself. She's going back to, she's really trying to go back to the Spice Girl roots of, we can do this ourselves.
Yes.
So she choreographs it herself, like in just a little dance room in her bedroom type thing.
Oh.
And when you watch the choreography now, it's so... it's crap. But I love that she's just done it herself.
Yeah.
Like she's doing this fake thing where she throws a rope and she pulls them in and she does it in the... She's such a literal dancer. She's like, if I can take a lyric and do a hand signal, then that's me. She's on her knees, she's laying on her back, putting all her yoga into it.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Bless her.
So that's Ride It. Generated a little heat between her and Simon Cowell. He said on CD UK that if he was her record label and that video had showed up, he would throw it in the bin.
Ouch.
She didn't take it lying down. She wrote him a letter and demanded an apology.
Good for her.
I love how Geri is a little bit Victorian lady. Like, she'll always write a letter. She always writes a letter.
Did she get a response?
Oh, it didn't say. I don't know.
Well,
Never heard about that.
he maybe did. Yeah, their paths must have crossed by now. Like,
Oh, well, she did X Factor, so they must have been forgotten.
Yeah. So therefore, I assume he did apologise.
I'm sure enough people have said stuff to Geri that she can't not work with them all.
Or maybe the record sales just kind of spoke for him.
Well, she reached number 4 in the UK,
that's
which
okay.
is
That's
nothing
good.
to be sniffed at. Popular in Europe.
Yeah.
Apparently it's a big deal in Russia, number 2.
Right,
That
okay.
latent homosexuality, probably. There was an MTV making the video of the video as well.
Yeah.
A video of the video?
A video of the video.
It was good. She's having fun. She looks and sounds healthy and
Yes.
good in herself at this point.
Yeah.
Which is refreshing.
Yeah.
The only problem is, with Geri's, it's just so cheesy. And at that time, this is just not where the music industry was.
Yes.
Like, it was much, much cooler.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the same week Destiny's Child charted with Lose My Breath. Lamar
true.
had Any Justice. Is Usher's Confessions album's out at this point?
Right.
What's the competition?
Yeah, and there's
Well-
much more kind of staccato R&B sound. It's much more,
Yeah.
and this is very frothy pop.
Well, the irony is, number 1 that week was Girls Aloud.
Ah,
With I'll Stand By You.
right.
A cover, actually. So
Yeah.
anything could happen. There was a big gap between singles then.
Mhm.
Apparently the label sent Geri away to come back with more stuff.
Right.
AKA Be Better. She was also planning a solo tour of the UK and Ireland, but that got cancelled.
Ooh.
So she's had a bit of a change of direction here. Originally, the album was titled Disco Sister.
Right.
Great title.
Yeah.
Very Geri.
Yeah.
And was going to focus on that EDM, electropop and Eurodance sound. That sort of more Kylie Minogue thing. I think could have worked for her. Didn't work for VB, but... Leaked demos of some of the songs, you can find them on YouTube. Putting on the Bling. Geri's got her groove back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what a fun title.
Yeah.
Putting on the Bling is all a bit Shirley Bassey.
Yeah.
It's all dramas.
Yeah.
She's going with the big full vocal runs.
Mhm.
You can see her singing it from the top of a Diamante staircase.
Yeah.
It's very Lady as a Vamp. She does some more, there's some like more Danny Minogue type stuff, like more like hook-worthy stuff.
What do we reckon of her voice at this point? Like, is she, in terms of her
Her
singing?
voice is never great.
Yeah.
She's doing what she can with it. Right, it's not uncomfortable to listen to.
No.
She also wanted to record the track Some Girls with Richard X. Do you remember him? He was like the David Guetta of his day.
Oh, yes.
But instead that went to Rachel Stevens.
Right.
And was a big hit for her, really.
Yes,
It's a good song.
I'd say this direction sounds better for her.
Yes.
Like it worked for Rachel Stevens, but she struggled as well. But the record label sent her back to bring in more ballads. Who sends Geri to come back with more ballads when she's giving you bangers?
Yeah, that was a questionable choice there.
So Disco Sister was out and we got given the Passion album. Came out in June 2005, although you'd be forgiven for not noticing.
Yeah.
The cover art is terrible. It looks like the cover of like Health and Home or something. She looks beautiful, but it's not very engaging. It's all very adult contemporary.
It's not very passion.
She's in this big, long, like, white dress, and she's got, like, the redder hair again. She looks great, but it looks like the cover of, like, a Take a Break magazine.
Yeah, it's quite a mature look, especially when the video for Ride It is so fun and flirtatious.
But that had been a long time before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just looks like the caption shouldn't be passion, but my husband married a goat and now taking him back. Because it looks like one of those pick-me-up magazines.
Right, yeah.
We got one more single, Desire, which is sort of like a bit of a stomping, sexy track.
Yeah.
Have you seen the video?
No.
Let me play you the video. Well, it is a forgettable song, but it is not a forgettable video.
Yeah,
Geri is playing an office worker who has no understanding of how to behave in a work environment.
Health and safety would be all over that.
She's wearing a very professional outfit, but she's writhing around in her chair like she's got an itch. And all of her co-workers are just typing away happily.
Yeah.
She's in love with her boss.
Yeah.
And she lets him know this by crawling across his desk and licking from a bowl of milk.
You know, she's being, 50 Shades of Grey before 50 Shades of Grey was a thing. Yeah.
50 Shades of Ginger.
Yeah, 50 Shades of Ginger.
She's never one for subtlety.
No.
And she comes in like a wrecking ball here.
Yeah. My favourite part is the fact that at the end, she is a cat.
Yeah. She's a shape-shifting office worker who's in love with her boss.
Yeah, okay, cool. So, but you then realise why her dance moves are what they are.
Oh, yeah, she does literal claw.
Literal claw hands. She loves some hand on the face.
She does that, love hand dancing. She does some of that. The thing that gets me about the video is they don't do the reveal of she's a cat until right at the very end.
Yeah.
So you're watching the video like, why is she pouring milk over herself?
What the hell?
Why is she behaving in this odd fashion? Then at the end you're meant to be like, oh, now it makes sense. But I think they're really underestimating how many people would turn off before that point. Yeah. Also, it must be said, she crawls across a desk and then licks milk, which Britney Spears would later do in her Slumber Party promo video.
So,
Innovator
Geri.
Innovator Geri. Innovation Spice. It managed to scrape in 1 week at number 41 on the charts.
Ooh, painful.
Selling just over 5,000 copies. Apparently they're better worldwide. Hello, Russia.
Yeah, there you go.
Following the album's success, or lack thereof, her contract with EMI was not renewed.
Yeah.
Which is the nice way of saying you're dropped, really.
Yeah.
But technically, she's never been dropped.
Oh.
So she completed her contract. 3-album deal.
Okay.
Done. But this was good time for her, really, because in 2005, she meets screenwriter Sasha Gervasi and falls pregnant with her daughter Bluebell.
That's a cute name, Bluebell.
Bluebell is cute. Motherhood suits Geri.
Yeah.
Very much.
Victoria and Emma are godparents.
Oh, that's lovely.
At the christening. So this is where we first sort of see
they're
making amends.
Yeah. That there's been time.
She says there'll be no more music. She stops threatening. And and that's pretty much the last we hear of Geri until the reunion. Yeah. She goes off and is a quiet, humble mum.
So you can see that there has been a massive journey there emotionally. In documentaries, she says the reunion, which we will go on to talk about, is she wants forgiveness. She wants to make amends and move on from what created this whole hiatus in the first place.
Well, yeah. So in summary, we've had 3 albums, 4 number 1 singles, 2 yoga DVDs, 20 billion celebrity boyfriends, and she invented competition judging panels.
So there you go. It's not too bad when you put it like that.
Yeah. So if we were going to rename her solo career, what spice would she be?
I had thought Variety Spice. She's
Variety
kind of
Spice.
turned her hand to a lot of different...
Haven't you said that at least 3 times?
Have I?
Variety Spice.
Well,
She has had a go at things, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Emotional Spice.
That is a good one, actually.
She wears her heart on her sleeve.
She does.
Yeah. But that also means that she can be impulsive, she can be clumsy, she can be... I'd say the big contrast for me is between her and Victoria. They're opposite ends of the spectrum there. Victoria's very controlled, and Geri, she makes decisions, she leads with her heart.
She does.
Not her head.
Did you have a name, Ian?
Well, I mean, I did already call her Traitor Spice. And I say that with love. As much as she can. I think a lot of the things she did betrayed a lot of the early work that she'd set up. So obviously, not just leaving, but things like some of the promotional time when she released that first album, she was doing like acoustic versions of Wannabe, and she was changing the words to if you want to be my lover, you got to be my best friend. Which, it just completely strips out what she'd done there.
Yes.
And I think actually more what it comes down to is need a friend spice.
Right.
I think Geri needed to benefit more from learning how to let people in and keep them in.
Yes.
And I think sometimes she was so driven and career-minded that she forgot that she did need other people around her.
And also in her personal life, romantically,
Yeah.
there was, quite a few men.
I imagine that was part of it. I bet she tried to look for everything in one person, like in a lover, and then that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
You know what they say, if you want to be my lover, you've got to get with my friends.
Yeah, and you have to have friends to get with. I mean, I think, by her leaving the Spice Girls, it was clear that she was like, they're against me. Even if they weren't, she'd built it up in her head that way.
So what should we...
I'd want to call her something like Lonely Spice, but I think it's completely takes away from the amount of success that she had.
Yeah.
So I'd say sell it, Spice.
Sell it, Spice.
She sold.
Yeah.
She sold a lot.
Yeah,
of stuff.
She did well.
So let us know what you would call her.
Yeah.
At Pot of the Pops, and we'll be back next week. Hi, listener. Subscribe if you want to go faster.
You all our bonus content. Leave your comments and join the conversation on our Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.
Talk to us at Pod of the Pops on all platforms. People in the world, subscribe up your life.
Every boy and every girl.
Subscribe up your life.
Pot of the Pops.
Subscribe up your life.
Please subscribe. Go get yourself subscribed, girls. I know you want to. It's 19...
Are you holding a pen?
Yeah.
Get that to fuck.
Yeah, sometimes the easiest things are the hardest,